First and foremost, I'm gonna say all praises be to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Shem Rakah Kodash. And then I'm gonna say double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the sincere elect, teaching the truth and faith and sincerity. Quick topic I want to speak on and focus on, is dealing with the AI, the mark of the beast and the coming persecution, man. Because it's clear to see that all the pieces are in place to make these people out here complete slaves when the mark of the beast comes to pass. And then even with how AI is looking more and more real, don't be surprised when soon they've got our pictures up there, and making brothers do things, or say things that are false, are fake. Like don't be shocked when that takes place, man. When they start posting our pictures and videos in there and making us say, look like we're saying things that it simply isn't us, man. And it simply isn't real. AI, will be used, man, to make up storylines about us and other things out there, man, in the world. So yeah, it's just taking place right before our eyes. And when we speak about people being implanted with chips, being merged soon with AI and stuff, being able to know what's in a person's mind, to install certain thoughts into a person's mind, to obviously know where a person is, to know the state of affairs of their health. This is the kind of complete prison and slavery that they want to bring upon earth, man. And when we speak about these things, people say, you only mention these things because you saw it like in a movie and stuff. When we know, starting off with these elites, they show certain things they got planned in movies and stuff, because that's what's going on behind the scenes, man. And that's eventually what they want. So first scripture I must get is Habakkuk 2:1, and it says, I'll stand upon my watch and will set me upon the tower and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. Yeah, man. And those that are of the Lord's elect are seeking the Lord while he may be found, man. They are taking heed unto this word. Right? For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry, man. And things are taking shape before our eyes, where we're seeing uproars of the people, more uproars of the people, protests, raids, more and more information on the mark of the beast, more and more information on AI, and how these things can be used to just keep people in slavery and confused. And with everything that exists, man, it's easy to say that once the chip comes to pass, man, it will link you to all these scientists and like in grids of things that already exist. Which makes me think of something called the internet of like the internet of bodies, man. When a man is merged with, computer, man. Which even so, there's even been some information on, remember back in the day, DARPA, right? DARPA brought out this information over here. You remember back in the day, DARPA brought out this information, right? If you go here, let's just go into news. You know what? Let me type in this. All right. Yeah. See, Pentagon scientists reveal a microchip implant that can detect C19. You see, you know what I mean? And all these things ties into the scripture that speaks about, spirits of devils working miracles, man. Because that's the plan. It's like, all right, the benefit of taking a chip is now, if you're let's say you've got a certain parasite in you, or cancer or anything. I mean, if you take this chip, you'll be able to, at a very early stage, detect that, like a person is ill. And then obviously once that's found out through their science, you can, then be healed. They're talking about ways to, make the blind see, right? They're talking about ways to make those that are paralyzed, walk, which again, it ties into the scripture that speaks about spiritual devils working miracles. And even in a past time, right, you even had this, right? Silverman, all right. Let's see. Chip immigrants. Yeah, this is way back in 2009. This is way back in 2009. Very chips merger. No, hold on. Yeah, it says, remember very chip, the Florida company that once dreamed of injecting its human implantable RFID microchips in everyone from immigrant guest workers to prison inmates. We haven't heard much from the company since. Dip in stock price nearly got it delisted from the NASDAQ in March, but it's still alive. You see, so this article here, and this point was way back in 2009. You see, it says in 2006, Scott Silverman, CEO of Verichip, proposed implanting RFID chips in immigrants and guest workers in the United States to facilitate identification and tracking. All right, and it's like, again, this isn't just one person. One person who spoke about this in 2006. There are many companies around Earth that are working on this and have this behind the scenes, because that's what's about to come to pass upon Earth. So we're in that time of these last prophecies speaking right before our face, man. You see? And it's about to come with trials and tribulations and persecutions for those that are of his elect, man. Which is why the scripture speaks about this. The hour of temptation coming upon the earth, man. This is Revelation 3:10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. And what's that hour of temptation? That hour of temptation is when we're all faced with the mark of the beast, which is the RFID implantable chip, man. Behold, I come quickly. Hold fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. And what do we have to hold fast to? To this word, to this truth, man. You know, this word of righteousness. You know, because man, many lies, right, and things that appear a certain way, but it's not real, and much more is about to take place, man. Don't be surprised, you know, when they start, you know, giving AI, you know, like, you know what I mean, scripts to like make brothers appear to be saying certain things, you know, but it's not true, you know, because, you know, at first they bring things, right, to pass as, you know, jokes. It's funny, you know. These AI videos first started as, you know, jokes and it's just funny, but, you know, it looks real. And the reason why these things look real, because, you know, they've, you know, made people get, you know what I mean, all these apps, whether it's fucking Instagram or so Snapchat and Facebook and all these apps that you know, everyone's got like on their phone, and it's captured everyone's face, you know. So they've, you know, got like a lot of information online and data online to, you know, now this shit is looking like scarily real, and these are gonna all be used, of course, to, you know, make people confused. You know, you might go on your TV screen and watch, you know, something like in the news that's just not real at all. But you know what? Those that are of his elect will not be deceived, man. You know, in fact, let me get that scripture. Matthew 24 and 24, right? It says, for in the NLT, for false messiahs and false prophets will rise up and perform great signs and wonders, so as to deceive, if possible, even God's chosen ones. But you know what? Those that are of the Lord's elect will obviously have the spirit to, you know, not be fooled, man. You know. But this is all these things, you know, these concentration camps, AI bots, killer bots, and, you know, algorithms and stuff, right? These things are not gonna overcome the Lord's elect. Even here, UK creating murder prediction tool to identify people most likely to, you know, kill. So this is what you call pre That's what you call pre-crime, man. You see, it's like and again, we've seen these things in TV shows and movies, and people thought, man, oh, you're just a conspiracy theorist. But bro, they just mentioned here the UK creating murder prediction tool to identify people most likely to, go out there and murder, man, and kill. It says exclusive, right? Algorithms allegedly being used to study data of thousands of people in project critics say is chilling and dystopian, right? The UK government is developing a murder prediction program which it hopes can use personal data of those known to the authorities to identify people most likely to become killers. Researchers are alleged to be using algorithms to analyze the information of thousands of people, including victims of crime, as they try to identify those at great risk of committing serious violence offenses. The scheme was originally called the Homicide Prediction Project, but its name has been changed to the Sharing Data to Improve Risk Assessment. The Ministry of Justice hopes the project will help, boost public safety, but campaigners have called it chilling and dystopian. Yeah, because that's what Esau does. See, as he takes more and more of your rights before your face, he engineers it to make people think, you know what, if we take more of your rights, it will make you safe, not knowing this is just a system of slavery, which with these science and technology and things they've got, you just know the final capstone to it all is the chip. The infrastructure of this new world order beast system that's about to come to pass, it already exists. It's already there. The skeletons of the whole system is already there. All you need is the chip to make it all linked into one, man, which is what is about to take place, right? This is Psalms 55, right? Psalms 55 and the 21st verse. It says, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet they were drawn swords, man. Yeah, so that's their plan. You see, all these things is like, it's to make the public safe, it's to make people safe, right? But all these are tools to have you further in slavery. Even this here, right? Did this happen a couple of months ago, right? It says UK, right? So this took place over here. Sex offender spotted with child by Face ID cameras, which of course this man here is a pedophile, of course, and of course is that tool was used to do of course this tool was obviously used to do a very good deed to obviously catch this pedophile over here. But these are technologies, right, that people only thought existed in movies. You see, these are things that people thought it was just a film, but they was able to use the AI face cameras to basically track this person down. And of course, again, I wouldn't even be surprised if this was an experiment, It says a registered sex offender has been jailed for two years after he was spotted with walking with a 6-year-old girl during a live facial recognition police operation. Right, David Chenela, 73, was found with the child in Denmark Hill, southeast London, on the 10th of January, following, an alert from the LFR cameras. Right, so the point is, right, he was scanned by the cameras, right, and his face popped up on the database, and he was able to be stopped, man. And again, people think these things are movies, but it's real life. Let me play the video.
I'm just pointing at him.
Get your face down.
I shouldn't be that child, but I've only taken her from school to her mum, and we made a mistake. We got the wrong bus.
I appreciate that might be the one time, but it's the one time that you walk through the camera and we pull you out.
He's not allowed to be in company with 14. I'm just pointing at him.
Get your face down.
I shouldn't be that child, but I've only taken her from school to her mum, and we made a mistake. We got the wrong bus.
I appreciate that might be the one time, but it's the one time that you walk through the camera and we pull you out.
He's not allowed to be in company with 14. Yeah, no, I'll be fair. If you undo me, I'll show you something that you won't probably find, and I'll be honest with you.
Well, like that.
It's a little knife I've got on me. It's a little
like a pen knife, or
little blocking knife that I've got on me.
Where is that?
It's on my belt buckle. Okay. If you push it from the left to the right, in the middle.
John.
So I suppose I'm getting done for the friendship weapon as well now. There's just nothing in there.
You're under arrest because you've breached your sexual
So
harm
what's going to happen to me now?
Can you listen to me?
Okay, right.
You're under arrest because you've breached your sexual harm prevention order,
Yeah.
which states that you're not allowed to be...
Yeah, I know that. I told you I know that. I admitted that.
Okay, so you do not have to say anything, but may harm your defence if you do not mention when questions in which may later rely on your court.
Now, of course, right? So let's say this is real, right? This was used. This proves that he's a part of a database where when a camera picks up his face, it can alert of where he is and who he's with. All right, and obviously he's in a database with with other sexual offenders. Now, in this context, it was used for a good deed, right? But what does that mean? That also means that they can have other databases, and they have other databases where your face could be on that list, right? Where your whole movement of your whole movement can be tracked, and when you're spotted, they can come to wherever you obviously are at, because just how they could have a database for pedophiles is how they can have a database for people they think could be extremists, and that could be based upon what they've seen online or on videos online. So again, we've been speaking about these things, how these things exist, and people, right, would scoff and say we're conspiracy theorists, right? But it's real life, because again, if they've got one database for one certain type of thing, who's to stop them from making the different databases? Which is why ultimately, man, we gonna need miracles to take place when this NWO system gets established upon earth. There's gonna be a reason why we gonna need spiritual power and the Lord to do miracles in order for us to even eat. There's a reason why the scripture says your servants, his servants, go and eat, because you're not going to be able to operate outside the system without the mark of the beast unless the Lord has miracles happen to take care of you and your family at this time. Right, this is Psalms 64. All right, hear my voice, O Most High, in my prayer. Preserve my life from the fear of the enemy. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. And you know what I mean? And the secret counsel, man, is, you know what I mean, is Esau, man, is elites. You know, see all these, Rothschilds and Rockefellers and DuPont, these banking families, elites, and the scientists, you know, that do all manner of research and are sharpening their sword, who wet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows even better words. And that's, and you know, that's their plans, man. You know, their plans and agendas of certain things that they have in place, which they're about to bring to pass, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him, and you know, and fear not, yeah, because their main plans and agenda is against our people, starting off with those that are of the elect, are of the Lord's elect. You see, they encourage themselves in the evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them? They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them, and the heart is deep. You see? So that's what they're doing through their research centers, their think tanks, the AI, you know, like all these companies doing all manner of research, man, to make these things happen. Which is why we're gonna need miracles, man.
Acceleration is crazy.
So even going back onto this, you see, you know, these are the things you actually might come across. You do come across in movies, but they're showing you exist, right? It hopes. So it says the UK government is developing a murder prediction program which it hopes can use personal data of those known to the authorities to identify people most likely to become killers. And you know what, in the whole conflict in Israel and Palestine, or you know, that whole the Palestine and Israel, you know, that whole thing, that situation, they've already spoken about how they've got a database. I believe it's called Where's Poppy or Daddy or whatever it's called, right? Where they've got people on a point score as a system, and through your information of what they get of you on social media, if you hit a certain score, the individual's home is marked, and it's marked to be, you know, basically nuked, bombed by a fucking drone, man. So these things are already here, man. They already exist. You see, researchers are alleged to be using algorithms to analyze the information of thousands of people, including victims of crime, as they try to identify those at greatest risk of committing serious violent offenses. The scheme was originally called the homicide. Yeah, I already read this bit. State Watch says data from people not convicted of any criminal offense, right, will be used as part of the project. You see, so even people that ain't even on the, you know, haven't ever been to prison, who've never done a crime, right? It says State Watch says data from people not convicted of any criminal offense will be used as part of the project, including personal information about self-harm, all right, and details related to domestic abuse. Officials strongly denied this, insisting only data about people with at least one criminal conviction has been used. And guess what? Esau's a serpent. He would say, no, we ain't gonna do this, we ain't gonna do that, and he will still do it. You see, that's what Esau does, right? The company says, and then even remember, like with PayPal, right? Remember, that whole information got brought out, how if you're using social media, don't align with certain things, so they can take money out of your account. And then obviously people cursed it out and protested, and it supposedly got shut down. But guess what? That's those things are all going to be come back and be institutionalized in different ways. And a prime example is the chip. Remember with that video with Alex Jones and Aaron Russo, they basically said, if you don't agree with certain thoughts and certain points, if a person is chipped, that chip can be turned off. So this is what they want, bro. The government says the project at this stage is for research only. Okay, but campaigners claim the data used would build bias into predictions against minority, ethnic, and poor people. Yeah, because fucking even AI, man, is racist. Because once it's basically artificial. Esau's angels, man. You know what I mean? So it's deep, man. These are the things. It says State Watch claimed that data from innocent people and those who have gone to the police for help will be used based on part of the data sharing agreement. The types of information processed includes names, date of birth, gender, ethnicity, and a number that identifies people on the police national computer. See? So these things are real, man. And then the AI.
You look far, step on the pedal, and you are there.
I feel safe with him in an SUV, and it seems to be like the right type of car for him.
I think the range is only going to get.
And here it says, you are not prepared for this terrifying new wave of AI generated videos, man. Because again, when they first started doing these videos, and it's really increased this year, but it's already been around for the first couple of years, but now it's getting more sharpened. First it was funny, haha, hee hee, it's all cute, but now this shit's looking real. So just know this is going to be used to as more of his enchantments, where you're straight up watching an event that's happening in the earth, or someone talking on TV, and you think it's real, and it's just not. It's fucking AI. It says and these things also be using people to cause doubt. It says I don't mean to be an alarmist, right? But I do think it's time to start assuming everything you see online is fake, right? The internet is full of content produced by real people, of course. This article is included, but AI generated media is getting so realistic that it almost puts you at a disadvantage to presume that the content you're scrolling past on your feeds is legitimate. right? And obviously, I mean, you know, if you go into this article yourself, you obviously see what it's talking about. But what this article does is just show different videos of how things look so real.
This ocean, it's a force, a wild, untamed might. And she commands your awe with every breaking light.
All right, and it's just, you know, even here, this person says, I don't think VO3 is supposed to be generating Fortnite gameplay. So even this guy is a part of a stream and he's playing the game streaming, right? This is all fake. The actual guy wearing the headphones streaming and playing the game is fake.
Oh my god. Yes! Woo! Victory Royale with a pickaxe!
Like, that clip was fake. This person here is, you know, right? This person here is, you know, singing a song, you know, music show and that. This ain't even real. You see, so all these things, all them clips I played, even this one.
Welcome to a non-existent car show. Let's see some opinions.
I mean, man, the acceleration is crazy. You look far, step on the pedal, and you are there.
I feel safe with him in an SUV, and it seems to be.
Now, of course, when you pay attention, you know, there's some things that don't look real, but you know what? Esau is sharpening his sword, man. It's gonna look even more real.
I want no bullshit. You stay on my 6 at all times.
See that, like, and it's making like you know what I mean, like a film scene, and it's all fake. Like, you know, so even actors, right? You know, it's crazy, man. But anyway, I have to go anyway. But you know, scripture I'm gonna read is, you know, Ezekiel 21 and 9. It says, such, you know what, 21 and 9. It says, Son of man, prophesy and say, thus saith the Lord, say, a sword is sharpened and also furbished. It is sharpened to make a sword slaughter. It is furbished that it may glitter. Should we then make mirth? It contemneth the rod of my son as every tree. And he has furbished it to, and he have given it to be furbished that it may be handled. This sword is sharpened and is furbished to give into the hand of the player. All right, and the one that's talking about, you know what I mean, it's Esau. Esau was blessed with that sword, man. Right? And that sword includes his science, his weapons, and much more. Right? Which is why the scriptures, it's like it says this, Psalms 17 and 13. Arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down, to deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. Alright? And that's why, you know, ultimately, in these harsh times that's about to come, we know the Lord's going to take care of his elect. All right, but you know, I mean, it's heavy times. Everything's taking shape. Everything's speaking right before our eyes. And hey, man, it's beautiful. So, you know what I mean? Let me the scripture that was in my mind, but you know, hey, in fact, I'm gonna end with that. Isaiah 33 and 4, right? And 6, sorry. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. So as these things come to pass, as things, you know, increase, you know, what's going to make us cool and stable in these hard times, the power of the Lord, man, and this knowledge for those that are of his elect. So with that, so praises be to Yahweh Shema Shai B'Shem Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, great millstone. Till next time, I'm gonna say shalom.